Well, hello there, this is Diamond from Diamond Shine Soap. I'm so excited to see you today. Today in the studio, we're going to make some Christmas candles. Nothing makes me more excited than holiday preparation. And today, we're going to be preparing some beautiful candles. But before we get into these beautiful candles, I want to let you know this recipe is in the Patreon, guys. I cannot stress this enough. I do not teach people how to wick and really make candles directly on YouTube because of the fire hazards, the risk that, you can run into if you don't do it right. So I like to work with each person and get you guys in groups and talk to you and coach you and give you free classes and things like that. So in my Patreon, guys, I meet up with you where you can come sit down with me and ask questions. You can get involved. We have so many different classes. We do freshies, we do soap. So don't just feel like it's just isolated to candles, because this is not an isolated event, okay? So join the Patreon. In the description box, you will learn exactly what you need to make this candle. I'll show you how to heat it up, how to let the temperature drop, what fragrance to add, what time to add it, all of that kind of stuff. And guess what? You will launch your candle making business right before the holidays, okay? So that means you will not miss December markets. You will see all of these markets in the malls, things like that. You will not miss it, okay? So let's go ahead and get right into it. I had to get up close and personal with y'all so y'all can hear me out. Y'all know I'm a shopper and I love to spend money, but I noticed that a lot of people are in a bind this Christmas. So because of that, I'm finding unique ways for people to basically create their products with using little to no resources. All right. So this is our 75-cent jar that we found. This jar is so pretty. Okay. And this was $1. Okay. Now these particular jars, I'll post it in the Patreon. A lot of the girls was like, hey, the shipping is high, but listen, it was some heavy, thick glass. This is a nice, heavy, thick glass, and it's going to cost, if you're getting a whole case shipped to you, I would say that one jar itself is almost like a pound. That's how heavy it is. And then with the tops included, y'all, we can't just think that the shipping gonna be $2, all right? Because people gotta pay. So these are the jars that we're gonna be using today. We're gonna be using some silicone molds, and these are my heart molds, and we're gonna make these embeds. These embeds are gonna be green and red, and we'll be using the same wax. We're not gonna go and use a different wax, because sometimes it's unnecessary to use two different waxes, and at the same time it can give you some burn issues when you do it that way. So we're just going to keep things very simplified. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay guys, so you're going to need 2 wicks inside of this jar, and we're going to wick them side by side. The wicks that I am using, I will list in the Patreon because they do not sell them everywhere. So you need to make sure that you are getting your wicks from the specific place where I tell you to go. If you go anywhere else, they may not burn as smoothly as you would want them to burn, okay? So I'm using some hot glue at the bottom of my tab, and I want to take that and I'm just going to press it firmly into the jar. And make sure you just do that for both of the wicks side by side, guys. All right, guys, now the next thing you want to do is add your fragrance at the suggested temperature that I have listed in the Patreon. And then you want to go ahead and stir that fragrance in for 2 minutes. It's very important that you guys stir for 2 minutes because that will ensure that the fragrance bonds correctly with the wax. Now go ahead and pour your wax into the jar. And for this jar, I did not fill it all the way up because I knew that I would put some embeds. So I didn't want to have any issues when I went to put my rose gold top on it. Now you want to allow this candle to partially solidify so that we can adjust the wicks in the right place. As you can see, my wax is not all the way hard, so I was able to just kind of move these wicks and position them the right way before I added my embeds. All right, now grab your heat gun and go ahead and create a mini pool on the top so that you can stick your embeds into the jar. So I'm going to go ahead and add my last embed to the top. And the last thing that you're going to do before you finish is take your heat gun and, guys, just basically straighten up the top. Try not to hold the heat gun too long because you'll begin to melt those embeds and that will not look right. So, all right, fix your wick. Make sure your wicks are right. And we're going to get to the last part. All right, so you want to use some red paraffin wax. Only using paraffin because it dries so fast and I don't have to worry about it running down the sides or anything like that. And you want to go ahead and get you a dropper, okay? And I'm using a glass dropper because obviously the wax can't really get stuck in the glass because I can still heat it up. Go ahead and drop these little drops of wax into this little tear. I don't even know what to call it. It's just like a hole on a heart. But this just causes it to look like a bleeding heart. And I really love this effect. All right, so we are finished. Only thing you have to do is hit it with that heat gun just one more time. And after you hit it with that heat gun, allow it to sit out, fully solidified, trim those wicks, and baby, let me tell you something. You got yourself a masterpiece.